सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। So we'll just repeat the previous verse. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. Ayam, this kadachit, ever, na jayate, is not born, va or na mriyate, does not die, va or bhutva, having been, na abhivita, na abhavita, does not cease to be, bhuyaha, again, ajaha, unborn, nityaha, eternal, shashvataha, that which undergoes no change whatsoever, puranaha, ever new, sharire hanyamane, when the body is destroyed, ayam, this, na hanyate, is not destroyed. Ayam kadachit na jayate, va na mriyate, va bhutva na abhavita, bhuyah ajah nityah shashvatah puranah sharire hanyamane ayam na hanyate. This self is never born, nor does it die. It is not that having been, it ceases to exist again. This self is unborn, eternal, undergoes no change whatsoever, and is ever new. When the body is destroyed, it is not destroyed. The Atma does not perform any action, nor does it subject itself to any action as an object of action, because It is unchanging, avikriya. There must be some change on the part of the one who performs the action for an action to occur. Also, to subject oneself to an action is to undergo some change because whatever has been subjected to an action does not remain the same. Water, for example, when heated, is an object of the act of heating and is not the same after subjecting itself to that action. Thus, if Atma were subject to change, it would be possible for it to be a subject or an object, a karta or a karma. Here, karma is an object, not the act of doing. It is an object. It would be able to perform actions and subject itself to an action also. But since the Atma is not subject to any form of change, it is neither born, it is neither karta nor karma. It does not change, nor does any other condition bring about a change to it. This verse from the Shruti was cited here to uphold this particular vision that Atma is avikriya, unchanging. The previous verse, also taken from the Kathopanishad and put in Krishna's own words, was in the Anushtubh meter, the more common of the two meters found in the Gita, whereas this verse is in the Trishtubh meter. Most of Mahabharata and Ramayana follow the Anushtubh, it being a very popular one and easy to chant. Because the verse is in Trishtubh, it cannot be chanted in the same way. Each meter demands its own style when chanting and reciting, and the tune has to be discovered. Krishna wanted to make 2 points here. Atma is not born, na jayate, nor does it die, na mriyate. There is no such change as birth or death for Atma. Birth means that certain changes have taken place, and such changes are not for Atma. There are many types of births. For instance, previously something was not, and then afterwards it came into being, like a pot. Or previously something was in one form, and now it is in another, like a seed, that having been in a seed form is now in a plant form. There has been a sprouting, and something new is born, but only the form has changed. So the two types, several types of births. One of them is it was non-existent before it comes into existence, like a pot, or it was there in another form and a new form is born, like it is like the seed that grows into a plant. Thus, for the Atma, there are no such births. There is no birth from abhava to bhava, non existence to existence. It also does not have a birth from bhava to bhava, existing in one form and then assuming another. Atma undergoes no change at all, meaning that it neither dies nor is born. These are two basic types of vikriyas, changes. One is the change of being born, and the other is the change that spells death. Neither of these vikriyas are there for the Atma at any time. Na jayate na mriyate va kadachit. This means then that Atma being existent now does not become existent later. And it was not non existent before it came into being, nor having existed in another form does it assume a new form now. The first change implying birth and the last change implying death, both having been negated, All the other changes in between, growth, metamorphosis, and decline, are also dismissed for the Atma because there is no vikriya whatsoever. Atma is not born and does not die. Krishna also said in this verse that Atma, having been before, does not again become non existent. Ayam bhutva abhavita vana bhuya. What is the sense of again here? Again, having been, Atma does not become non existent. Death is having been, one is no more. Such a situation is not there for Atma. Atma was, is, and will be forever and will ever be the same. Because Atma is not subject to time, it is avikriya, not subject to change. This is one meaning. A person who was there before and is no more is said to be dead. Such a person is gone, and no one can say where he or she went. However, you cannot say the same for the son of a barren woman. He did never existed at any time. Therefore, you cannot say that having existed, he ceases to exist now. A non existent thing does not die. The barren woman dies, but her son does not. Death only implies when, having been, something goes away. A similar change does not happen to Atma. Atma is not subject to a futuristic extinction, which means that it is not subject to time in terms of the future in any way, nor is it subject to time in terms of the past. That something did not exist before and has now come into being is another situation called birth. Having not been before, it came into existence. The one who is born is the one who, having not been before, comes into being. Abhutva bhavita. Previously it was non existent and later it comes into existence. This also does not apply to Atma. Therefore, the words in the verse can be put differently also. Atma was not non existent previously, and there will be no time when it does not exist. Either way you take it, bhutva abhavita na or abhutva bhavita na. Both meanings are given by Shankara here for the same line because both meanings are there in the verse. Having not been and then coming into being, which is called birth, is not there for Atma. Na jayate. Having been and disappearing, which is called death, is also not there for Atma. Na mriyate. This being so, Atma is unborn, aja. Because it is not subject to death, the word nitya also implies that Atma is not bound by time. It is not an object within time. It is something on which time depends for its existence and is therefore aja and nitya. The word shashvata meaning that which is always the same, that never undergoes any change, was also necessary here to eliminate the possibility of the Atma being taken for something eternal, nitya, but continuously changing, eternally changing. What is that which is eternally changing, which is seemingly nitya? Is the world, isn't it? Worlds keep getting created, dissolved, they sustain and they keep getting dissolved. There is a constant change that is happening in the world. So it is not,
Also,
huh?
also in our also in our body also
Yeah.
changes per day. Yeah.
No, the world seemingly is nitya because it is a pratibimba of the Atma. But it ceases to exist the moment you realize that it is only a superimposition. That is one. So long as there's no knowledge, the world continues, universes continue to be made, sustained, dissolved. So in that way, the world is nitya, but the only difference is it keeps on changing. Basically, anything that exists in time, that is time bound, is subject to change. Like how the Stula Sharira is, Sukshma Sharira. If you give the analogy of the ocean and and the wave, the nature of the ocean, the water does not change, but the waves keep changing. So maybe if you extrapolate it that way, Atma is forever the same. It was, is, and will be forever. There is no change in the Atma. It is Nitya, it is Aja, it is not born. It is the only thing that was, is, or the only thing that is. And if it is the only thing that is all pervading, where is the question of any change in it? So therefore, it is not even subject, it's not subject to birth because it is self-evident, it is always there. It does not die because having been, it does not disappear. It is always existent. And it is also not subject to change. Therefore, it's Shashvata. So the different stages of change that the Stula Sharira goes through, modifications that the Stula Sharira goes through, do not apply to Atma. Is it Nitya, but is it ever changing? No, it is Nitya and Shashvata. So Krishna actually plugged in all the, so to say, loopholes to say, no, this is what Atma is. It is na jayate, na mriyate, va kadachit, ever. There is no birth, no death ever. And nityaha, ajaha nityaha, shashvata purana. Nor does Atma grow old. Therefore, the changes that the physical body is subject to between birth and death, that are what? Growth, metamorphosis, and decline, are also not there for Atma. Another word describing the Atma in this verse, Purana, generally means ancient, but here it refers to that which is ever fresh. Even though Atma was fresh earlier, it is still fresh. Always it is fresh. Atma is timeless and is the very content of the meaning of the word new, Nava. It was Nava then and it is Nava now. It is new now and previously it was also new. It is always new. It does not grow old. There is no aging, vriddhi, no decline, apakshaya for the Atma. In other words, even when the Sharira, the body, is destroyed, the Atma is not destroyed. Hanyamane sharire na hanyate. It is always the same. So there is no young Atma, no old Atma. There is only Atma. We have seen then that the Atma is neither the subject nor the object of any action, which is why it cannot be affected by punya and papa or destroyed by anyone, not even Ishvara. They recollect the Nirvana Shatakam, na punyam na papam. na saukhyam na dukkham, na mantro na tirtham, na veda na yajna. If it was the subject of an action, it would necessarily undergo a change in order to perform the action. A new action cannot emanate in any other way. The subject, the doer of an action, has a thought or a desire, sankalpa, and undergoes whatever change is necessary to perform the action. For example, the desire to see something, let me look at the book, means that the person becomes a karta. There is a sankalpa, and the one with the sankalpa becomes the object, the doer, and the doer undergoes a change. The change is in the form of a sankalpa, anxiety, and so on the part of the doer, the subject. That subject performs the action. If the Atma is a karta, the Atma itself must undergo this vikriya change. That this self evident Atma undergoes no change and is therefore neither karta nor karma was made clear in the previous verses. Therefore, only an Atma that undergoes change, a Vikriyavan Atma, can be a Karta. Similarly, if Atma is the object of any action, it would be affected by any action perpetrated by someone towards it. You, the Atma. A karma, action, is that which brings about a change to the object of action. For instance, if I hit an object with a hammer, that object, the recipient of that action, must undergo some kind of change, and that change is the result of that particular karma hitting. Similarly, if Atma is the object of any kind of action, it must also undergo a change. Therefore, we would have a Vikriyavan Atma, an Atma that is subject to change. But Atma is avikriya. Here I had um, when it said here that only there is a sankalpa before any action, and the sankalpa is the change. It brings about a change, right? So the change is in the form of a sankalpa on the part of the subject, and then the subject performs the action. So I was only thinking about how the world is created. It was said, it is in the Taittiriya Upanishad, that Brahman had a thought. It was born of the sankalpa of Brahman. So I was, isn't that also a sankalpa then?
No audio.
No, I had posed a question as to why Here it said for the subject, the doer undergoes a change for an action to happen. How? Why? Because there is a sankalpa that comes up, and the sankalpa is the one that causes is the change. Whereas the Upanishad say, Taittiriya Upanishad says, there was only Brahman in the beginning. There was only one, right? In fact, that is the only thing that is there. But how is the world created? How is the universe created? It is from Brahman. It come forth from Brahman, from the Sankalpa of Brahman. So in that case, are we not considering that as a change? Was the question I had posed.
Surely it is a change because the world sankalpa, srishti happened because of the creation happens. When creation, it is a change.
But Brahma remains same. It is
Brahma
Purna.
is no Brahma is Brahman.
Huh,
But his
then
sankalpa,
from
no,
his
his sankalpa,
sankalpa,
the
that is
world,
from.
and that is a change. So
But
if we
even the
see our desires, no,
Purna Mudachyate, that is no. So wherever there is Brahma, there whatever is division, it is always Purna.
Purna,
I think so.
And because of his sankalpa, everything is happening. And same thing, we are also Jivatma. Because of our sankalpa, we are creating the world, ourselves, creating the birth, creating the death, and all that. So that is Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, because of our desires, Kama, So that is the main thing which is bringing us to the world. So that we have to leave it. That will be coming later on. Thank you.
What do you think, Brahmaraji? Please think about that.
No, I'm just wondering at the question that I had posed. I'm just wondering about the answer. The only thing that comes to my mind is here we are not we are not trying to figure out how mithya is. Then go back to a few paragraphs before. Vedanta is not about discovering how mithya came about. It is about uncovering satya. It's about clearing up this confusion.
So the description of Atma, that it is not from Bhava to Bhava, but there is when it is said, when the seed sprouts from the seed, means Bhava to again next Bhava. So everywhere it is happening like that.
It's such a funny feeling, no? You're here with this knowledge, you understand that all of this is just an illusion. But in this illusion, we are supposed to do what is to be done. You cannot say it's only an illusion and not do anything. Which is what Arjuna's confusion was throughout. He says, you're telling me this is jnana, this is the ultimate. Plus, you're asking me to fight. So that's the whole paradox, if you can say that. So that is the way forward, in the sense.
To explore that, he said, there only to know that it's Atma. You have to go through this transactional world and karmana gahana gati, karmana gahana gati, and all. So this they are somebody has posted there. Okay, this body is given for clearing the subtle that avarana or everything for us.
One question I also have, maybe I have forgotten some portion of Atma Buddha. We studied, know that Atma is it is pure, it is ever new. Then how come we are born because of punya and papa? Where do they linger on? Like, if it is pure, it merges. Then how come we are born again? How does that punya papa? Where is that they fit in? And how come that again rebirth happens? When we say that we are studying all the qualities of Atma, it is ever new, it is Ashochya, it is Avikariya, like all the qualities which we are studying. But how come then we are again reborn? And
because of the ajnana, that you don't know that you are.
Where does this ajnana persist when that body is left here? And
Because of the desires.
So that is where is the location of desire? How?
Desire is in the thought.
Independently?
It is in the thought.
I am
Comes and
wondering
goes,
about the Sunita Williams, how she stay there, and everything is now like, what's happening? I'm also not understanding myself now.
No, because of the thought, and thought, you don't know how it comes, but what we are doing is we are hooking to the thoughts.
Yeah, but where is there how
Therefore, we have to make our mind
that is what
mind thoughtless. No mind.
When body is gone, then there is no mind, there are no thoughts. How do they then?
Because of the mind, body came, no?
Yeah, but body when it is dead. The mind and all thing is
mind
there.
will be there. Actually, mind will be there. We are covered within the mind. The body is within the mind, not mind is in the body.
Yeah, that is for our understanding. We study, but still, reading all the qualities of Atma, I was like, yesterday also I had this.
Because of the ajnana that we think we are the body, not the Atma.
Then how we are born again?
So I think how we have to
Janma rahasya.
handle this is, see, avidya is anadi, right? You look at the karna sharira, the definition of karna sharira is anadya vidya anirvachaniya. It cannot be describable. It is not described. You cannot describe it, and it is beginningless.
But the causal body remains. You mean to say that the causal body?
Causal body, yeah, but it has an end. Although it is anadi, see, you cannot pinpoint and say when did ignorance start. You can only put an end. When was darkness? When did darkness start? You can't say. But darkness has an end. When you bring in light, there is end to darkness. Similarly, jnana is not a superimposition on ajnana. Jnana is always there. As though there is darkness. Darkness is as though superimposed upon the jnana. So bringing in that light, the moment that light comes in, this delusion of the world, the delusion of everything, papa, punya, birth, all of them would just go, will just disappear, will just get destroyed.
But like till then, where is their existence?
Till then, it is there. That is the whole wonder.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
yeah.
That is the wonder. Because, see, again, the study of Vedanta is not about finding the roots of mithya, finding the roots of ajnana. We're not, it is not about exploring mithya. It is about discovering jnana. It is discovering satya.
Yeah.
So we might go the other way. If you're going the other way, the other route, what is this ajnana? What is this? Then you might end up without any answer.
More confusion.
Isn't it? So what we do is retrain our mind and say, okay, this is Atma.
This
That's
is,
Sat Buddhi.
we take it as a pramana.
Correct. We take it as pramana. Very right. With that Shraddha, we take this as pramana. Vedanta says, Atma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Okay, that's it. And move forwards from there towards discovering the truth. In fact, sometime back, a few days ago, when we were reading about Mithya, what is the nature of Mithya? In fact, we had this discussion also, saying there may be doubts cropping up, but when these doubts come up, how did the first birth happen, or when did the first punya papa, how did it start off? There is no answer to that. No? You cannot pinpoint and say this is when it happened. So then we retrain our mind, come back, take it as pramana, and
because of our linear thinking, I think we are getting stuck.
Correct. Because we, in our mind, we want everything to be logically explained. But this is actually beyond logic.
Actually, China was saying that, after Bhagavad Gita, you should do Yoga Vasisht. Then you have, you'll be able to understand better.
Yeah. So for now, we take this as Shruti. And earlier also we saw that if your experience says, oh, this is experience refutes the Shruti, then that does not hold. What the Shruti says is final. And what the Shruti says is Atma is Nitya, it's Ajaha, Shashvataha, Puranaha. Shall I continue? The changing and the changeless. The physical body, on the other hand, is subject to change. When the ahankara, the ego, identifying with the body, performs an action, it is the physical body that performs the action in keeping with the ahankara's intention. The legs move, the hands move, the body shrinks or expands to a certain extent, in that you can stretch it in order to reach something, or you can shrink yourself in order to get out of a tight place. Thus, the body undergoes all kinds of contortions. The body is at the disposal of the karta and undergoes a lot of change. It also becomes an object of action when someone else pushes it. The body is therefore vikriyavan. Not only does it undergo change, but it is meant to do so. The body is born, jayate, exists, asti, grows, vardhate, undergoes change, certain modifications, viparinamate, declines, apakshiyate, and dies, vinashyati, because it is vikriyavan, that is, which is subject to change. Due to lack of understanding, this physical body and the Atma are taken together. Atma is taken to have a physical body as an intrinsic attribute. Therefore, I become as good as the physical body. Here, the discrimination, the viveka required, is that while the deha is subject to change, Atma is not. It is neither born nor does it die. The first and last vikaras for the body, birth, and death, for the body, that is birth and death, are negated in Atma by this verse. So, when you negate the birth and death, anything in between is also negated. Atma was not born because there was not a time when it was not in order to be born. It was always there. Nor will it die because, having not come into being, there will never be a time when it will not be there. Thus, it is not subject to birth or death. Therefore, it is Nitya. Nor does it undergo the other changes that happen between birth and death. Therefore, it is Shashvata. The question then may be asked, if Atma does not decline, does it grow? Is it that when you are born, there is a nascent Atma, a baby Atma, which then becomes a child Atma, adult Atma, and so on? No, Bhashyakara said, it does not grow either. Here, Shankara introduced a small definition for growth, vriddhi. Any growth means that something that was not earlier should come into being. For instance, a young man previously did not have a mustache and therefore did not have to shave. Now he has both a beard and a mustache and has to shave every day. This is growth, vriddhi. Something new has happened. Does Atma grow? In any growth, there are always new features introduced. Either something is added to what is already there, or it expresses itself in some new way. Either way, the arrival of a new feature makes the thing grow. For instance, a small sprout begins to grow. It branches out, puts out leaves and flowers, and becomes a full grown tree. Therefore, growth always implies new features added to a given stem, and the new feature that has been gained means that which grows is no longer the same. Atma was always ever grown, meaning that it never grows. Only that which has a feature, an attribute, can grow and decline, wax and wane, bulge and contract. If it is a color, for example, it will fade, or a new color may come. Something can happen to it. Whereas the Atma, having no features whatsoever, no limbs or attributes, is Purana, ever new. Even when the body is destroyed, Hanya Mane Sharire, Atma is not destroyed. Not destroyed is to be taken here in the sense of change, so as not to confuse its meaning with the use of Hanti and Hanyate, to kill and be killed, in the previous verse. All that is being said is that the Atma undergoes no change whatsoever. Shankara concludes his commentary in this verse by saying that with reference to Atma, Krishna negated the sixfold modifications that we see in any given physical body. That is birth, existence, growth, modification, decline, and death. The meaning of these two verses taken from the Shruti, therefore, is that Atma is free from any manner of modification. In no way is it subject to change. No one can effect a change in Atma because it is not available for objectification and does not have any feature or attribute, avayava, to receive such an action. Nor does Atma itself undergo a change to perform any action. Therefore, being both akarta, not a doer of the action, and akarma, not an object of the action, Atma is ashocha, not a source of sorrow. Where is shocha then? There should be an object available for sorrow, a situation capable of causing sorrow. The Atma cannot cause sorrow because it does not undergo any change, nor does it subject itself to change. How then can it be called Shocha? Atma, whose Swarupa, nature is fullness, Ananda, can only be Ashocha. So till now, he didn't bring about Shocha, but he introduced the concept of Shocha as well and said Atma is Ashocha because it is not subject to change. So one more attribute is given, Ananda and Ashocha. Yeah, do we want to do Manana on this? So birth is something that is a change where it was not existent before and comes into being, or another birth that can be considered is a change that has happened in something that is existent and it takes a new form, like the plant that sprouts from a seed. So Atma does not have a birth because it was always there. And does it have a...
What was that? Abhava to bhava? There is nothing like anything like abhava to bhava.
Yeah. So there is no abhava to bhava. It was only bhava throughout. And does it have a death? See, ajnana also is beginningless. Doesn't have a birth. But ajnana has a death. Does Atma have death? No. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit. It is not born, neither does it die. And does it grow? Does it have vriddhi? No, because it is ever grown. It is the only thing that is its fullness, completely full. So there is nothing else that can happen to it. Very beautiful verse for contemplation.
जय गुरुदेव। ब्रह्मरा जी, सच्चित आनंद के साथ जो अशोच्य का भी बोला तो वो थोड़ा क्लियरली प्रोनाउंस करेंगे? वो अशोच्यम है,
अशोच्य।
अशोच्य। हाँ,
Yeah.
थोड़ा वो थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करेंगे प्लीज?
See, what Swamiji was saying here was um, being akarta, not a doer of action, and akarma, not an object of the action. Atma is ashochya, not a source of sorrow. I think this ashochya and anvashochastvam was described in the 11th verse when
Yeah,
Krishna starts his thing, no?
yeah,
So
yeah, to Arjuna.
there it was mentioned that in order to cause shochya, cause for sorrow, it has to be either there has to be a change for sorrow to happen.
Okay, so it
Like
is never a cause of any sorrow.
not a cause for any, because it does not change at all. It cannot. See, the world changes, people change, the world changes. Therefore, the world can be a cause for shochya, but Atma cannot be a cause for shochya.
So here we can say he is a drishta, but not involved in drishta. So misery cannot happen to him. Means Atma.
Not only that, he is also the cause for misery.
Cause for misery. No, not a cause for misery. Correct.
And that is why he is Ananda. What is the opposite of shochya is ashochya, which is Ananda, right?
Yeah.
Is full Ananda, replete with Ananda, complete. It is not the fleeting Ananda that we experience. It is eternal Ananda. See, like we said yesterday, if you're all okay with it, the last 5 minutes or so, we will just meditate. We can either meditate on our own, just close our eyes and just be in that space, or we can have a guided meditation. Let me know which one you would want to have.
Yeah, Gurudev is taking Panchakosha everywhere. We can always put that.
Yeah, we have about 6 minutes. Let me check whether I can share the screen for. I'm just going to share this one.
चलो विल डू ए शॉर्ट मेडिटेशन ना. सब लोग आराम से बैठ जाइए. एवरीवन सिट कंफर्टेबली इजली. रीढ़ की हड्डी सीधा रखे. लेट्स कीप आवर स्पाइन इरेक्ट. Let's take our attention to the top of the head. And become aware of the vast sky above the head. सिर के ऊपर विशाल गगन है. उस गगन से तरंग हमारे सिर पर पड़ रही है इस वक्त. इसका स्मरण करें. Become aware of the vast space and cosmic rays from the universe falling on your head right this moment. मुस्कुराते मुस्कुराते सारे तरंगों को अपने भीतर स्वीकार करें. With a smile, receive all the vibrations, cosmic vibrations, into your body. Vedic chantings are there, are happening. All other sounds are there. Just welcome them all. मंत्र घोष भी चल रहे कहीं दूर. पूरे वातावरण में पवित्र तरंग उठ रहे हैं. इन सब को आप स्वीकार करें अपने भीतर. Let's also chant Om. हम भी 3 बार ओंकार का ध्वनि करते हैं. गहरी सांस लीजिए.
ये दूसरे फ्रेंड ने गिफ्ट करी है एक जो है उसने मंगाई है पुरानी घड़ी 20
रिलैक्स योर होल बॉडी. पूरे शरीर को ढीला छोड़ दें. लेट एवरी सेल इन आवर बॉडी स्टार्ट टू रिलैक्स, expand and smile. ओम शांति शांति शांति। और धीरे धीरे आंखें खोल सकते हो। Slowly and gradually you may open your eyes.
ॐ लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ तत्सत् श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु। जय गुरुदेव।
Jai Gurudev, Ramraji, I'm not able to revisit the latest classes.
It's on the YouTube, Malti ji.
No, YouTube only. It's going to all old ones. It's showing actually, not the latest ones.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let
No,
me just
I
check.
watch, my dear. Yes, it is there.
No. Okay.
It is there, my dear.
What did you type? Srimad Bhagavad Gita latest.
I have subscribed long back, so it is coming if it is live or video. In video playlist also you can say, or in live column also you can watch.
All right. Thank you, Belaji.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
If you have
Dhanyavad.
not subscribed, maybe you can subscribe. Then you'll get a notification
Okay.
every time it's live. So then you can access it.
All right. Thank you so